What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Keyforge Age of Ascension tournament video for you from our sealed pre-release event held at Black Knight Games in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. On the left is Robert, on the right is Chris. This is their second game of their best of 3 series. Robert we have seen in previous videos in the series. If you haven't watched any of the videos so far, go back. They're at a playlist on Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. You can check them out there and watch them all back to back. And you can see Robert's deck in the past has been doing pretty well. And we're seeing it here. The opponent, Chris, there starts with the Gatekeeper. And then we see him Martyr's End there, played just for the Amber. Not doing anything, but he's got Barrister Joya, the Baron, and the Armorsmith all on the board. So each of his other creatures are getting +1 armor on, from the Armorsmith. Barrister Joya says, the opponent can't reap. Period. That's it. One of the best Sanctum characters, in my opinion, from Age of Ascension. And the Baron basically can toss Sanctum cards, discard them, and you're able to capture Amber on him for each card discarded. On the other side, we have an Armorsmith and Obeyed the Grim, if I'm saying that right, who comes in, captures 3, and can reap and discard 1, but there's only 1 Amber to capture, so that's what he gets. 2 Gorm of Ulm, basically location hate cards down there. Artifact hate. He can pop those and destroy his opponent's artifacts. Now, if you watch the last game, he just did it again, and I was not understanding why he was tossing artifacts to his discard pile, and he did it a couple times last game, and there it is, you see one played, and that is, let me check here, that one is Eye of Judgment out of Sanctum. He gets an Amber for playing it. Says action, purge a creature from your discard pile. So that technically should have been put into play as an artifact, but he played it as if it were an action, got the Amber, threw it in the discard pile. That is a mistake we saw early when Keyforge released. A lot of people were making that mistake because the templating of the artifacts in this game is very horrible, and it doesn't differentiate those card types from the other card types well enough, as we know. And that happens still, I guess. So he could have had Eye of Judgment in play and been able to purge creatures as he's killing them. And that may be a problem later, and especially knowing Robert has 2 Exhumes in the deck. And you can check out Robert's deck list in the description below if you want to check that out. We don't have Chris's deck list at all yet. And if, Chris, you're watching this, if you can post a link in the comments below and let us see your deck list, that'd be great if you'd like. So we went this here on Robert's turn. He has a Schuler down there, doesn't get to steal anything, and a Dust Imp that can get us some Amber when he's destroyed. And it looks like he played Banish to get rid of something on the other side of the board there, I think. Or send something back to the archives. But now we see Barrister Joya caused a lot of trouble last game, so Chris is deciding to take those 2 Sanctum guys, Gatekeeper and Obey the Grim, and run them right into Barrister Joya. At whatever cost it takes. He just lost 2 creatures to get rid of 1. And yeah, he's just that frustrated. Locked him out last game, so he doesn't want to deal with it here. I don't know if that was the right play, but I mean, if they can't reap, you might as well use them to fight, I guess. And put some salt in the wound here. We have Caller of Subordination coming out and taking the Armorsmith from the other side. So now 2 Armorsmiths on Robert's side here, giving all of his creatures +2 armor, basically. Except for the Armorsmiths. They're only giving each other +1 armor. And he does some reaping. It looks like he's at 5 Amber. No keys forged on either side. And it looks like Chris is going with Logos. Throws out a Helper Bot, which allows him to play 1 non-Logos card, which he throws a Rustgnawer in play for power creature that can fight and basically destroy an artifact, and he gets any Amber if there's Amber on those artifacts. So now we get a double poke here. He's playing poke twice, which does 1 damage, and he's doing this to the Armorsmith, so 1 armor blocks, the other damage gets through, and since he didn't destroy any creatures, he doesn't get to draw any cards, but he just plays it for the Amber. But he decides to end his turn there. I don't know if he used the Helper Bot. Oh, the Helper Bot was played. Never mind. And here it is, Exhume, bringing Barrister Joya right back into play. All that hard work to get rid of her, and she's right back. And there it is. Chris is looking through his discard pile again, realizing the Eye of Judgment could have purged a creature, but he thinks it's an action, and he did it too early. But if he played it properly, and it was an artifact in play, he could use it on his next turn, or he could have used it last turn, named Sanctum, and then purged Barrister Joya. He could have purged her on the turn he destroyed her, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And we see Robert just piling up the Amber there, reaping like crazy.
guess go with.
So Chris deciding what he wants to play here for, or which faction he wants to name for this turn. Again, he's watching the wall be built across the board again. That giant sanctum board with some disc creatures lightly sprinkled in. His own creature in there, building up armor on all those creatures, making it harder to get through. And Robert's able to just reap like crazy because his opponent doesn't have any of those reap hate cards in play at all. Maybe he doesn't even have any in his deck. I'm not sure, but didn't see any last game. And now he's going untamed, it sounds like. And he's playing Tantalden? I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. But he's a big tree dude, 9 power. He only deals damage when only deals 2 damage when fighting, and he has that fight ability. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. So we got Rustnar for 4 power, running into his own armor smith, taking 3 damage back to kill the armor smith. And he's going to play a Grove Keeper, who at the end of turn, if he's there, will give a +1 power counter to each of his neighbors. Dharma coming into play. Should get him 1 amber. Yep, gets him 1 amber because he does have a damage-friendly creature. She can be used later to reap and heal 2 damage. And there's the end of his turn. He's throwing the Grove Keeper. +1 power counters out there on his neighbors. And it looks like Robert's forging here, getting his first key. And Robert's going Mars here. He's playing Destroy Them All. So he gets to destroy an artifact, a creature, and an upgrade. And conveniently, the upgrade of Color Subordination was removed from play because his opponent destroyed that creature. But I think he would have had to destroy that Color Subordination. I think the creature would have returned back, actually, to Chris in that situation. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. And we see a Dominator thrown down there. Comes into play stunned. Ready's up. He's got Taunt. 9 power, 1 armor. We know him from the first set. So Robert has 1 key. Looks like 2 amber. Chris on the right side has 4 amber.
Only he dealt more than 2.
He can't reap. So the only amber he's really getting is when he plays cards out of hand. So if that's the case, either he needs to fight and get rid of Barrister Joya ASAP, or play as many cards as he can out of hand to just cycle through his deck faster than his opponent if he can. I don't know if he has any kind of amber control in his deck. Well, we know he does have Obeyed the Grim, who captures. We've seen him in play. We know he has Gatekeeper. He's already in the discard pile. And I mean, he saw them early, got them in play, but maybe it would have been better to hold them till it was a more impactful turn. Because as we see, Robert does gain amber pretty quick once he builds up his board. And we see a Library of Babel put into play there.
And actually lets even a Helper Bot.
And the Helper Bot's actually going to fight the Armor Smith there to finish him off, get him out of play. He should have played Poke after and fought with Helper Bot first. And he would have been able to draw a card off of Poke when he finished the opponent's creature off, but he did not. And he did mention that he should have done that in a different order. So we're all here to learn. If you guys notice any mistakes or have any constructive criticism, feel free to leave it in the comments below to help other people watching these videos in the future understand the game we're playing and learn from the mistakes that are made, if there are any. And, you know, everyone makes mistakes, so. But we can all help each other get better. That's one of the reasons I do these videos. Yeah, Robert realizing the tree across the board is a 10 power creature. And we see Lion Botrim coming into play, giving +2 power to his neighbors. So Barrister Joya and the Baron both have +2 power bump there. The Grey Rider coming into play, and he's going to allow his neighbor to ready and fight, but that'll just get rid of the stun off the Dominator. He should be exhausted right now, though. And he's playing Smite here.
Oh yeah, 3.
And will Smite allow him to ready? Let me just check the wording on that card. Yeah, it is a ready and fight with creature, so I guess it didn't matter with the Dominator. He's going to use him now.
Oh, yeah. It only deals 2.
Yeah. So it would have taken 1 because of the armor, right?
So he's just realizing the tree only hits back for 2 when he's fighting. So I think he thought the Dominator was going to be destroyed. I don't know. But he's not. He only takes 1 because he has 1 armor. And there's no Armor Smiths out in play right now giving him a bump. So he does have to take some damage. But the tree is dead. The Dominator blasted the tree into pieces.
Protect the weak on.
And protect the weak on the Baron, giving him a +1 armor bump and taunt. I like how Robert's board here, this Sanctum just synergizes together very well. And he does a healing blast there to get rid of the... He gets an Amber for it, gets rid of the 1 damage on the Dominator. Doesn't get the extra bump off it, obviously, because you have to heal 4 damage to get the extra 2 Amber off that action card. And he's put himself in check, it looks like, again. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe he's only at 5. Maybe he's only at 5. But he is up 1 key. And here we got another Untamed turn coming from Chris. He's going to do some fighting here with Dharma. Into the Dominator. Only dealing 1 damage, and Dharma's dead. 2 Marble Swarms coming into play there. They're getting each a +5 bump off of the Amber in Chris's pool there, so they're each a 7. So, I mean, Chris does have the Untamed theme deck here, the Untamed theme lineup, I guess you'd say, that has all the power bumps to get him up high power on his creatures, so he should be able to shred through some of this Sanctum stuff, but Robert is playing the offensively here and just using his guys to fight where necessary to kind of just take them out, basically. Take out the creatures on the other side before they take him out. And then just reaping with whatever's left. So I'm sure Chris is completely frustrated here. This is what happens sometimes in Sealed, though. Someone opens a deck that just, you know, gets to run wild in Sealed and doesn't have the counters that are in the pool of players. Since we only opened, I think, like 18 decks at this tournament. There's 18 players. I mean, if you don't get paired against the decks that can answer you, you might just kind of run away with it. So we have a Mindworm played out here from Mars. I think a custom virus down there on the bottom. Artifact there. It's hard to see with the glare. Sorry about that. And looks like a combat pheromones there for another Amber. And he reaps with the Dominator. So the Mindworm has elusive, and he's got that before fight ability. The creature who he's targeting for the fight can deal damage to its neighbors equal to his power. So Chris's name is Sanctum. He's popping the Glorm of Ohm to get rid of a custom virus.
Play.
And we see Merrick the Marked come into play there. He's the guy that captures an Amber for every damage he prevents with his armor.
And then just so that he lives.
And we got a Smite here to ready and fight. And here's another, so he's using Hallowed Shield there, trying to use it as an action, but it's really an artifact. So he's trying to prevent Merrick the Marked from taking damage. But Robert realizes it, so it's going to just come and play as an artifact and doesn't get to use it right now. And so he's going to do Smite to ready and fight with his creature, and he's going to deal 2 to the neighbors. So he's going after the Dominator, who's Taunt and protecting Barrister Joya, so he's trying to break through that, I guess. And he does the 2 damage to the neighbors, so he gets rid of the Grey Rider and puts 1 on Barrister Joya. And we see Robert forging key number 2. And he's got 2 Amber remaining. Chris still at 5 Amber, unable to forge the first key. So to me, it looks like it's going to end here at 2 games. And after this, we will be posting the finals, the top 2 players. And one will be Robert on the left here. We'll be playing the other, I believe, undefeated player. So stay tuned for that. It's the best 2 of 3. So those videos will be coming up. Make sure you've subscribed and hit that alarm bell button so you don't miss every time a video comes up on the channel. And I will be putting those in the same playlist. So if you're watching this on the playlist later, just keep it rolling. And you'll see those 2 games after that. And I am going to Origins. and should have some matches from Origins from the cut for the Vault Tour. So check those out on the channel. Those are coming soon. And we have the Baron here. Oh, sorry. Baron played. Not sure how he used. Oh, combat pheromones. He popped combat pheromones. He's using the Mind Worm there to do some fighting, deal some damage, and then he's reaping with Dominator, I think, and then the rest of the Sancta board just to shoot up to be in check for that final key. And he's going to discard the Gatekeeper. Or, yeah, discard the Gatekeeper so each of his Barons capture 1 amber. So, yeah, that's gross. Salt in the wound. Salt in the wound.
So, yeah, he's a 5, so I can destroy the Dominator and play enough of concede on that side.
So, it sounds like we're done there. So, in 2 games there again, Robert closes it out. He's going to move on, like I said, to play in the finals match of this pre-release event. So, stick around for that. Make sure you hit that like button on these Keyforge videos. If you like them, let me know. And it helps other people find the channel when they're searching for Keyforge. And yeah, like I said, leave some comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help the channel, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.